Okay, so after 5 months, the simple interest earned annually on investment was $9,000. I'm sorry, $9,000 was $721. Find the interest rate to the nearest tenth of a percent. Well, on any of these interest problems, we've been going with this, with knowing that the interest can be calculated by taking the principal times the interest rate times the amount of time. Okay? So they told me the interest was $721. They told me they invested $9,000. That's this right here. Okay. They didn't tell me the interest rate, but they did tell me that it was 5 months. Well, how many years is 5 months? Because the T is the time in years. So I'll just write 5/12. That's how many years 5 months is. So now what I'll do is I'm going to multiply these two numbers together. 9,000, whoops, times 5/12 is 3750. Okay. So now I can solve for R by taking 721 divided by 3750. And I get 19.2 or 0.1922 or so, which is about 19.2%. So that tells me the answer is A. Okay. Find the percent change from 12 to 78. So anytime you find the percent change, and you wrote down in your notes, the percent change is always the change over the original. So how much did it change from 12 to 78? Well, I'm getting 66. Okay. So it went up by 66. Divide that by 12, because that's the original. Oops. 66 divided by 12, 5.5. Okay, but it's not 5.5%. It's 550%. So is it B or D? Well, B is 550% increase. D is a 550% decrease, which of course is impossible. So it's B. And it increased from 12 to 78. Okay. And we're okay. And problem 14, find the result when 55 is decreased by 60%. So we're going to take 55 and decrease it by some amount. And it's going to be 60% of 55. Okay? So we need to figure out what 60% of 55 is. Well, that's going to be 0.60 times 55. And then we're going to subtract that off of 55. So we'll figure out 0.60 times 55. That's 33. So really we're going to do 55 minus 33, which of course is 22. Okay. An office equipment store buys highlighted pens at wholesale price of $17. It then marks them up by 88%. Okay. What's the amount of the markup? What's the selling price? Well, they're marking it up by 88% of $17. So let's figure out 88% of $17. That'll get us the markup. So apparently they're marking it up by $14.96. Okay. Add that on to what they started with, 17, and you get $31.96. So the answer is B. Okay, so on this question here, we're talking about similar figures. That's what they say right here, is that these two things are similar. But you got to pay attention to what parts go with what. They apparently flipped the second one around here. So if I were to label these in color, ML, okay, or LM, that's this part right here, goes with AB. So right here, they also tell me that LO, which is these two, must go with AD, those two. Okay. So apparently they've got these things switched around here. I'm going to label the distances. AB is 6, BC is 4.8, LM is 8, and they want to know what MN is right here. Okay? So in order to find these things, we need to have corresponding parts. Well, notice that LM and AB are corresponding. So I'm going to write the ratio of 8 over 6, which is LM over AB, has to be the ratio of any other pair. So I'm going to write 4.8 over question mark. Notice I got that backwards. I did that on purpose for now. I'm going to fix it in just a second. This is wrong because I've got big figure over little figure, and then over on the second side I've got little over big. So I've reversed those. So I'm going to change that, flip it over so it's correct. Okay, so since I went big over little, I've got to go big over little. Okay. Now I can solve that proportion pretty easily by doing the cross multiply and divide step there. 8 times 4.8 gets you 38.4, and divide that by 6. 6.4 is your answer. Okay. Question 17. The price of a train ticket from Atlanta to Flint is normally $188. However, children under the age of 16 receive an 85% discount. Find the sale price for someone under 16. Okay? So they're taking $188, which is the price, and they're subtracting. How do I know it's subtracting? Because it's a discount. Okay? Right there, it's a discount. They're subtracting 85%. Now, if I write that, basically I'm saying they're taking $188 and subtracting 85 cents off it. That's not a very big discount. Okay? It's 85% of 188. Okay? So here's the original right here, minus the discount. So let's figure out what that is. Okay. The discount is 85% of 188. So $159.80. Okay. Again, that's how much they're taking off of the price. So now let's find out what that is. 188 minus 159.80 is $28.20. Okay. Find 85% of 55. We've been doing this a while. I'm going to translate that from from English to math. Here's 85%. Of means times. We're finding out what that is, so let's just calculate that. 85% times 55 is 46.75. Okay. Solve. Well, I see a big mess up here, but I know how to take care of big messes. The first thing I do is deal with parentheses, and because there might be guys watching, I'm going to put a red flag up here and say, hey guys, watch out for negative signs. We tend to screw that up, so got to be careful. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is deal with parentheses. That's a negative 2 times 3x, that's negative 6x. And a negative 2 times a negative 5 is a positive 10. Okay. And of course I still have a 4x out front. And equals 10x plus 35. The biggest place I see people mess this up is right here. Oops. That's kind of a fail. I see it right here. People will forget to multiply a negative times a negative to get a positive. Okay, so be careful about that. Now, before I start adding and subtracting things from both sides, I'm going to combine these two like terms into negative 2x. 4 minus 6 is negative 2x. I still have a plus 10 equals 10x plus 35. Now my goal is to get all the x's on one side and the non-x's on the other. And I really don't care which side I try to take all the x's or non-x's to. I'm going to take all the x's to the right side because that's going to keep it positive. If I add 2x to both sides, that'll keep my number of x's positive. How did I decide to add 2x? It was a negative 2x there, so to get rid of a negative 2x, I'll add 2x to it. Okay? So this is going to be gone when I add. I'll still have a 10. I'll have a 12x plus 35. Now that I have all the x's on the right side, let's get the non-x's to the left. So let's get rid of that 35 there. I don't want it on the right side anymore. Okay. I've got 12x on the right side still. I have a negative 25, which means when I divide by 12 to get the x by itself, I'm going to have x equals, I'll just write negative 25/12. If you want to write negative 2 point whatever it is, that's fine, or negative 2 1/12, be my guest. Okay. And one more problem. Okay. We've got a farmer's total payment for tools and compost over the course of 2 years is $25,894. Write and solve an equation to find the payment for the second year. If the first year's payment is $10,705, it's almost a ridiculous question. I don't know really why I need to write and solve an equation for anything. If this is the total of 2 years, we get the first year, second year. When I add those together, I'm supposed to get $25,894. Okay, so the first year's payment was $10,705 plus something here to get the total. So it doesn't seem very hard to see that we're just going to subtract. So $25,894 minus $10705 gets me $15,189. And that's going to do it.